Told you can't die without my permission, which he smiled creepily. But the creepy smile turned wicked immediately, and he let go of her. Aha! Samara screamed as she began falling back to the ground. What the hell? Ruthie started running to catch her, but Aragon was faster. She fell into his arms, and she inhaled shakily, holding him tight. Superior, she muttered as he set her down gently. Are you okay? He asked. I should be asking you that, you're wounded, she replied, looking at his right arm. There's blood all over it, staining his white shirt. The demon is a tough one, I guess, he said, and Orion landed on the ground beside them. Why would you throw her down like that after saving her? Thought you did some good, Aragon said. Good? Were you practicing stupidity when I told you I have no good left in me to do? And you think if I'd change because of the student I hate so much? Oh please, Aragon, I was expecting you to be smarter than this, but turns out you're some crazy dumbass, Orion replied and walked to Agatha, who's currently struggling on the ground blindly. What happened to her? Aragon asked. She stabbed me during the fight, and I died, she replied, and he frowned confusingly. This is like a family heirloom, she said, raising the pendant of her necklace. My Granny Elsa gave me one. It's capable of waking the dead, so it woke me, and she got hit by a beam from it, she explained. Nice heirloom, he nodded, and she smiled, but the smile disappeared from her face when she saw the others lying weakly on the ground, all greatly wounded. She ran to them immediately. Ruth. Krishna. Raven, wake up. Ceres. Peony. Merlin. Caitlin. She started shaking them one by one. Aragon joined Orion, who's still with Agatha, and he saw the bottle lying on the ground. He took it, and Orion took it magically from him, so it landed on Orion's palm. Soul-snatching poison? Orion muttered after inhaling it, and he smiled creepily again, facing Agatha. She killed my student, that's enough reason for me to rip out her heart, he said, and dragged her up. He made to shove his hand into her chest, but Aragon sped to him and stood between them. You must be stupid if you think I can't hurt you right now, Orion smirked. She's at fault, but you should let Master and the chiefs handle this, Aragon replied. I get to handle everything about my student, Orion said stubbornly. You're not doing this because you care about Samara, it's because you're angry Agatha hurt her instead of you. Aragon replied, and Orion patted him. You might be smart, he said, and walked away from the assembly, leaving Agatha with Aragon. Before you go further, I'd advise you to go to the channel page and watch the previous parts so you don't get confused on the interesting roller coaster. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe as it fuels the writer to write more. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next update. Thank you. By now, everyone else got up already, so Aragon led the way, holding Agatha to the prestige hall. They got to the front of the hall and met Master Duran waiting with the chiefs already. Aragon submitted the bottle of poison to Chief Water, and he nodded after smelling it. Soul Snatcher, he muttered, and Chief Feathers sped to Agatha immediately. She grabbed her neck in her palm, locking eyes with her. Arg! Agatha winced painfully as her completely white eyes rolled in their sockets. You'd be blind for. Feathers hasn't finished the curse when Master Duran stepped in and took Agatha from her. You can't curse her, he said calmly. This is her third time of hurting another disciple, Duran. She's not fit to be here. She should be sent back to the palace, or better still, send her to the Demon's Coven and let her join Bakasura's subordinates. Feathers shouted angrily. She should be punished instead, she hasn't received punishment for hurting Merlin too, so. Chief Water said. She'd be sent to the beastly territory, Master Duran said, and Agatha gasped. No. Master, no, I promise not to hurt anyone anymore. I'm blind, I can't even see a thing. Going to the beastly territory like this will spell doom for me. I might die. She cried out. There's no death in beastly territory, only hellish punishments which would help you get back to track if you're ready to. Master Duran replied. Isn't that a little too much? Chief Water said. I don't think so, Chief Feathers replied. Agatha was still begging when Master Duran did two fingers formation, and a white light appeared on top of the fingers which he sent to a spot, and a door appeared there immediately. Agatha was pulled to the door by an unknown force, and she kept screaming till she went in completely. The door went shut and disappeared just the way it appeared. Good job, everyone, Samara Master Duran said, and she bowed. Learning the use of your sword should be easier from now. You're much more powerful than you think, he said, and she nodded. Yes, Master. Ceres rolled eyes immediately. Y'all get your wounds treated before dawn. There'll be a teaching class tomorrow about spells, and Chief Feathers will be handling it, Duran said further. Chief Feathers is too strict, wish it was Chief Water, Peony muttered. Me too, Ruthie replied. It's called laziness, Samara said, and they giggled secretly. Good night, disciples, Master Duran said. Good night, Master. They chorused as he left with his chiefs, and they all dispersed to their various rooms. Merlin went back to the cafeteria for Echo. He carried her to her room in his arms, and he lay her gently in bed. She's still so fast asleep, so she made no move till he covered her and left the room. He went to his own room and pulled off his suit and undershirt. He was about to start treating the wound on his arm when the door opened, and he gasped when Caitlin came in. Sorry for barging in, I can't treat my wounds, so I came here. Would you do me a favor? She asked, and he smiled. Of course, come. She sat on the only chair in the room and rolled up her hair. She got wounded at the back of her neck. It'll sting, he said. I know, she replied and looked up. After this, I can help you with your wound too, right? She asked, and he nodded. God, you're so hot, she said, and he chuckled as he began treating her. At the corridor. Ruthie was about to enter her room when she suddenly saw Cat loitering around, and her eyes brightened. Cat? She rushed to get the black cat, and she began meowing in her arms. Why aren't you with Krishna? She asked. I want something to eat, so I'm on my way to the cafeteria, Cat replied. You talk? Ruthie laughed. She does, and she's spoiled, Krishna replied behind her, and she turned to see him. Krishna, she smiled, and he came closer, taking Cat from her. I'm not spoilt, Cat said immediately. Shut up, please, Krishna replied, and she rushed into his pocket, her favorite place. She's so cute, Ruthie said. Thanks, aren't you gonna treat your wounds? Krishna replied. Peony will help me, she said. All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning, he replied, and she nodded as he started walking away. She was walking backwards as she stared at his backside, licking her lips slowly in admiration till she bumped into someone. MG. She gasped, and it turned out to be Ceres. Ceres? I should make this clear, red girl, Krishna belongs to me and you can't change that fact, Ceres said. That's rich coming from someone like you, but you know what? I don't listen to anyone except my mother, Ruthie replied, and Ceres made to come closer, but Ruthie opened her mouth wide. A ball of fire rolled out, but Ceres was quick to avoid it, so it hit a pillar, and the pillar cracked. You can't defeat me in a fight, so stay far. Ruthie rolled eyes and entered her room where she met Peony waiting. You like Krishna that much? You threatened Ceres' cause of him, Peony said. The door was closed, how did you? Ruthie said. I can see through doors, one of my powers, Peony replied. How cool, where's Sam? Ruthie asked. Probably with Superior Aragon, Peony shrugged. Inside Krishna's room. Raven was in when Krishna arrived, and Kat jumped on the bed immediately. Aren't you going to your room? Don't tell me you're sleeping here again tonight, Krishna said. Why else would I be here by this time? Raven replied, eating a grape. Wasn't Superior Orion cool back then? He swallowed a demon's head, Krishna said with a big smile. You might fall in love with him at this rate. Raven shook his head. I'm not gay, idiot. I'm just amazed, just how powerful is he? Krishna said. He's a wizard, he can be a vampire if he wants to, he can be a ghost, he can be a beast and even a werewolf. He has so many supernatural personalities, so you don't expect less from a mythical being like that. But I have a question for you. Raven stood. What? Krishna frowned. Do you like Ruthie? He asked. Without replying, Krishna entered the bathroom. That jerk, Raven muttered. Inside Aragon's room. You really don't have to do this, Aragon said as Samara began setting the herbs she got from the apothecary on the table. Aragon is standing beside her. You have a wound on your arm and you're planning not to treat it. Who does that? Samara replied, pulling him to sit. I don't usually treat my wounds, they heal on their own within 3 days, he said. Well, I'm here now, and things will change, she replied, and he smiled, taking off his shirt. The moment she saw his bare body, she swallowed before starting to apply the herbs on his wounded arm. You got wounded by his claws, she said, noticing the wound nature. She was expecting him to talk, but he isn't, so she looked up and met him staring. You're superior, you should thank him. He saved you, he said. He threw me down after saving me. You're the real savior, she replied, and he locked eyes with her for a bit before looking away. But how come he's stronger than you when you're both superiors? Samara asked. He's the only child born together with his sword, and the sword killed his mother immediately it came out of her. I bet no supernatural being can face him, not even Master Duran himself, unless they find his weakness, he replied. He has a weakness? She asked. Yeah, but don't ask me what, 'cause I dunno, he replied, and she smiled. I won't ask. He returned the smile, and hers grew wider. Inside beastly territory. Agatha landed in an unbearably calm place, and she stood immediately, tracing her way with her hands as she started moving around. Gentle breeze is blowing, but even the gentility is awkward. This place is hell and everything about it is pains. Beastly territory is not for the weak, and now that she's blind, she's hoping she'd be able to make it out alive miraculously, then she can teach Samara a lesson for causing this. She was still searching for her way with her hand when she stumbled and fell on something. What's this? She muttered, tracing the skin with her palms, and she detected it's a flower tree. She plucked a rosebud, and immediately she did, the bud began transforming in her palm, and even if she can't see it, she felt the change, and she folded her palm on the bud, but she got stung immediately. It's a snake. Ah! Father! Father! She cried loudly as the venom began mixing with her blood. She threw away the snake immediately, but the serpent crawled back to her, and no matter how much she struggled to shake it off, rolling on the sandy soil, it didn't. It kept climbing her till it coiled itself on her neck, and it began choking her. She rolled roughly in the sand, trying to get the snake off, but the more she pulls, the more she gets choked, and she got stung on the neck too. Fat, her. Help me! Help me, she cried as another one coiled on her right leg, then another on her stomach. Aha! At a riverside. Princess Molly could be seen sitting silently beside the wide river, her eyes focusing on the currents. She's obviously sad, and she looks empty inside as she sat hopelessly. She slowly dipped her leg into the river, and immediately the water touched her. She got burnt on that spot. Ah! She winced and quickly removed her leg. She stood and turned to leave, but her eyes widened when she saw Agar's behind. Agar's? She muttered, and he grabbed her hand. Great Queen wants you, he said, and they vanished together, landing back in the coven where Bakasura is waiting. You went to the river again? She demanded. I can't help it. It's my original home, mother. Molly replied, and Bakasura sped to her. This is your home, nowhere else, so think straight once again, she said, locking eyes with her. But Bakasura grabbed her head immediately, the eyes lock getting more intense as she communicated with her. Listen. Tomorrow, you'd go to the streets of Delos and find your way into Mystic Institute, she muttered. Tomorrow, I'll go to the streets of Delos and find my way to Mystic Institute, Molly repeated after her, and she smiled before releasing her. How will that be possible? Karatzi asked behind, and Bakasura got her staff. A single wave of it, Molly transformed into a 7-year-old kid. It's easier this way, Bakasura smiled. Agar's exchanged excited glances with Karatzi. At Mystic Institute. It's already 10 p.m. before Samara returned to her room, and immediately she turned on the lights. Orion could be seen sitting on her bed. You again? She said. You got bolder, you didn't jump, Orion replied, standing up. He started coming to her, but she summoned her sword and pointed it at him, and he paused. Get that shitty sword away from my way, he glared. No. Who knows what you might do to me the moment I drop it? She replied. I won't give you an easy death like your mother, you don't deserve that, he said, and her eyes widened. My mother? What did you do? She rushed to him. Oh, such a loving daughter she has. But what is this shitty necklace on your necks? It brought her back after I killed her, and it brought you back after Agatha killed you. Is there a legend behind it? He said. So you really killed my mother, she muttered disappointedly. She refused to tell me if there's another way to cure this shitty wound. He yelled, raising his shirt from his arm. She left me with no choice, and the fact that she woke doesn't mean she's free. I'm still gonna kill her after snatching that necklace away, he said. There's no other way except dipping your hand into my blood. She shouted. Which is why I'm here, to dip, he replied, and she blinked. Huh? Yeah, he came closer. But I'm not on my period, she replied, and he smiled creepily again, making her step back quickly. His creepy smile always means danger. I can make you menstruate, right now, he said, and her eyes widened. What? Yeah. I only have to touch your nipple, so don't waste much time. Off your blouse, I'll take off your bra myself, he replied. Samara was dumbstruck as she stared at him for a minute, and in the next minute, she laughed out loud, leaning on the wall so she wouldn't fall. Orion frowned immediately, and a drop of blood fell from his arm. You know you might be a superior, but sometimes I wonder if you really think at all. Touch my nipple to make me bleed? Forget it if you can't wait till my next cycle, she replied, and he sped to her, but before he could grab her, she changed positions and sped to his own former position beside the bed. Her eyes widened immediately, and she looked up. You saw that, right? I just sped. I sped. She said happily and tried it again. In the next minute, she's at the bathroom door. Yes. I sped. She shouted, and Orion vanished immediately. Peony and Ruthie rushed in. What's up? Ruthie asked, and Peony blinked. Samara sped from the bathroom door to their middle, and their eyes widened. You speed now? Peony said surprisingly. I got it just now. Samara replied and began jumping happily. I'm happy for you. You're slowly getting your abilities. I can't wait for you to get it all, Ruthie said. All? Are they that many? Peony asked. According to legend, Whitehead witches have the most numerous abilities of all witches, Ruthie replied. I can see through doors, that's the only one I've got, Peony said. My Spitfire is the only one I've got too, Ruthie replied. I've only detected this speed and the immeasurable energy I felt before cutting off the demon's head the other time, Samara said. You might really be more powerful than we think. Even Superior Aragon couldn't defeat the demon, but you did, Peony said. That's how I do it, Samara replied, flaunting her hair. They all laughed and fell on the bed together. Inside Orion's room. Landing back, Orion held his arm tightly, squeezing his face as he walked to the bed. The pains increased so much, and it's eating deep into his bones. I'm not joking, Bree. You and your daughter are dying in my hands once I get this done with, he said, sweating as he sat on the bed, taking off his shirt. He stretched his second hand to the table beside his bed where several bottles of blood are sitting. Cat's blood. Puppy blood. Mouse blood. Deer blood. The bottles were labeled like that. He picked the puppy blood bottle and opened it, drinking directly from it. The blood stained his lips badly as he drank, and when he took it away from his lips, he already got more energetic than before, but the pain still persisted on his arm. Erf, he groaned. Immediately he cursed under his breath, the door opened on its own with great force, and the lights came on automatically, revealing Chief Feathers. Why are you here? He asked, and she smiled. Respect isn't part of your lifestyle and will never be. Why are you here? Feathers, he repeated more rigidly. Why suffering in pains when you can take the pains away yourself? She replied, and he stood. The moment I cut off the arm myself with my sword, I'm losing close to 2 years of my power cultivation. I can't risk it, he replied, and a sword appeared on Chief Feather's palm immediately. Before he could move, she swung at once, slicing through his arm with it. The wounded arm fell on the ground, but another one grew out of the same spot, replacing it. The fallen arm turned to ashes, and the ashes dissipated. Chief Feathers felt weak immediately, and blood came out of the corner of her mouth as she staggered. Why did you do it? Orion asked. I'm an immortal, so it'd have only a mild effect on me. I only have to rest for 2 days and I'd be back to shape, she replied, holding her chest. You have a class to handle tomorrow, he said, and she stood straight. Water will handle it, she said, smiled at him again and vanished. Orion looked at the new arm and sighed, nodding once. Shall I try the boundary tomorrow? The next morning. Merlin entered Echo's room and met her in her robe already. She just finished dressing up and is about to head out for class. She ignored him like no one entered, grabbing her favorite scent bag before trying to leave. Hey, why the attitude? Merlin blocked her. Out of my way, she glared. Are you mad at me? I did nothing wrong, he said. Yes, you did nothing wrong. But I'm not in the mood to talk to you this morning, so get lost. She pushed him out of the way and walked out of the room. Echo! Merlin ran after her, but immediately he came out, he met Caitlin on the corridor. Hey Merlin! She rushed to him. Echo looked back, and when she saw them together, she scoffed and continued her walk to class. Echo! Merlin made to go after her again, but Caitlin pulled him back. I think she wants to be alone. Come, let's go to class together, she said. She's my bestie, Caitlin. You don't get to dictate, he replied and left her, going after Echo again. Caitlin bit her lip hard till it bled. She licked the blood that came out and smiled. Merlin! Let's go to class together. She shouted with a different tone, and Merlin came back immediately. Sure, let's go, he said, and she held his hand, interlocking it with hers before taking him away. At the hallway. Raven! Peony called immediately. She sighted him at the hallway, and he turned. Hey, Purple Witch! He smiled, and she walked fast to him. How do I look? You know they say Chief Feathers complain about dresses in her class a lot. I don't want to get on her bad side, she said. You look hot, he replied, and she made to peck him, but he shifted back. Come on, no one is watching, she said, and he looked around before leaning back in. Peony's eyes widened when he kissed her directly on the lips, and he flashed a cute smile before leaving. Peony stood frozen like a statue till Samara nudged her from behind. I saw that, how was it? She asked. Was hot. Gosh. That was my first kiss. Peony gushed. Haven't had mine, and I'm hoping to have it with Superior Aragon, Samara replied. I'm so happy. Peony gushed. What's up? Ruthie joined them. She got kissed by Raven, legendary first kiss, Samara replied. That's mad. Ruthie jumped. I know, right? His lips were so soft, Peony said. Oh please, Samara laughed with Ruthie as they made their ways to class. I saw you kissing that Purple Witch. Ceres suddenly blocked Raven. And now you're here to beat me? He replied. You have a girlfriend at home, Raven. We both know how dangerous Zara can be. That bitch is a vampire, Ceres said. We broke up, Raven replied. You're the only one who broke up with her, she's still obsessed with you. She'd kill Peony without thinking twice, Ceres said. You're not saying this because you care about Peony. You're scared Zara might come here, right? He replied, and he smirked. Just stop being obvious. I can take care of myself, he said, and walked away. In the lecture hall. It's already so full of disciples when Samara came in with Ruthie and Peony, and it's noisy 'cause the chief is not here. I haven't seen Krishna, Ruthie said, searching the hall for him. He's not coming, Raven replied behind her. What? It's a class, Raven, and there's a penalty for missing it. He's ready to pay the penalty. I dunno why, he said he wanted to tour the streets this morning, Raven replied, and Ruthie went sad immediately. Meaning she won't be seeing his face throughout the class. It'd be so boring. Girls. Echo joined them. Strange, you're not with Merlin? Peony said. Seems Merlin got himself another girl, Samara replied, and they all saw Merlin chatting with Caitlin immediately. They're sitting together. Sad, guys are jerks, Ruthie said. Not all of them, Raven replied. Yes, except Superior Aragon and Krishna, Ruthie replied, and they laughed. Let's find seats before Chief Feathers arrive with her sternness, Echo said, and luckily, they all found seats in one angle in the midst of numerous disciples. Aragon came into the hall immediately, and the attention of the girls shifted to him. He's so hot, Echo said. Who? Samara asked, and she gestured at the front. I know, right? So handsome, Samara replied, and his eyes suddenly met with hers. Samara. Come with me, he said loudly, and silence happened as Samara stood. Sure, Superior. She replied dramatically, and the girls laughed as she flipped her hair before following him. 99% of the girls were strangling her with their eyes, and she almost fell as she walked, but she held herself till she went out. If Agatha sees this, she'd probably die, Ruthie laughed. Wait, is she back from the beastly territory? Peony asked. She came back by dawn, she's currently healing, Raven replied. Let's hope she changes, Echo said. Change? Agatha? So not compatible, Ruthie said. Ceres suddenly stood. I'm touring the streets too, I'll take the penalty, she said and walked out of the hall. That psycho, Raven muttered, and Peony suddenly held his hand under the table. He faced her, and they smiled at each other. Outside the hall. You forgot this in my room last night, Aragon said, raising up the cross necklace. Fuck. It must have fallen off my neck, I'm so careless. What if Orion killed me last night? I'd have died. She shouted as she took it from him. He came to your room? Did he do something mad again? Are you okay? He started checking her out, and she smiled. I'm fine, Superior. Luckily, I activated my super speed last night, so I sped away when he tried to reach me, she said, and he inhaled in relief. I'm glad. Thanks for keeping this, she said, raising the necklace. She tried wearing it, but it was hard, so he got behind her and swept her hair up, dropping it on her shoulder before taking the necklace from her. He fixed it for her, and she smiled before facing him. Thanks, Superior. Be careful, he returned the smile, and she blew him an air kiss before rushing back into the hall. Aragon smiled again as he walked away. On the streets of Delos. Why do you love breaking rules so much? You're gonna get punished if you don't attend the class, Kat said as Krishna walked the crowdy street. She's sitting on Krishna's shoulder comfortably. If you're gonna keep complaining, then go back to the institute, he replied, and Kat hissed, then he continued his walk. The institute felt stuffy immediately he woke, and that's why he decided to take a walk, and it's working. I want some pancakes, Kat said again. You're a handful, Krishna sighed, branching at a pancake stall to get some. He was still buying when he noticed a young girl squatting beside the stall, looking so unkempt and dirty, even her hair. Kat meowed on his shoulder, and he walked to the kid, crouching in front of her. Hey, what are you doing here? He asked, and she looked up. She's crying. I dunno, she muttered. Where are your parents? He asked. I dunno, I don't have a house, she replied, and he frowned. What's your name? He asked. I don't have one, she replied. She has been crying for free pancakes since I started selling, dunno where she's from, and she even looks dirty. Can't risk it, I don't want to contact diseases, the seller said, giving Krishna the pancakes he bought. He took it and gave it to the girl. You can have it. Thanks, she replied. Ah, good Samaritan, Ceres's voice said behind, and he turned. What are you doing here? Raven said you came out, so I traced you. You're the only wind controller in this market, so it was easy. Air is blowing more in this angle, she winked and walked to the kid. She's already eating the pancakes. You don't have a name? How about Lissa? She said, and the kid nodded. Lissa is it, let's take her to the institute, Ceres said, carrying her. You're so heavy. She grunted, and Lissa smiled. Ceres led the way with her, and Krishna scoffed behind. She's not doing this 'cause she's nice, she's only acting nice 'cause she wants to get on his good side, which he's never gonna fall for. He got another pancake for Kat before following her. At the institute lecture hall. Chief Water finally arrived, and silence happened in the hall. Master Duran said it's Chief Feathers. Caitlin shouted. She's in retreat as we speak, so I'm taking over, Water replied. Yes. I like Chief Water better. Me too. The disciples commented. How many abilities are there in the supernatural world? Chief Water asked, starting the class immediately. Over 1 million according to legend, Raven replied. To mention a few? Chief Water said. Wind controllers like Krishna, Ruthie said. Spitfire like Ruthie, Peony said. Clairvoyance like Peony. That bitch can see through walls and closed doors, Ceres said. She's crossing the line, Peony muttered. Calm down, Ruthie replied. Appearance stealing Raven said. That's not the real name, Chief Water replied. Shape-shifting Samara said. Anyone with that ability here? Chief Water said. Raven, I swear I'ma kill you if you mention my name, Ceres muttered. You're a shapeshifter, why hiding it? He replied. Same way you're hiding your powers, she muttered, and he scoffed. Time controllers like Agatha, another student said. Witches, wizards, werewolves, and vampires, though their personalities, not abilities, Samara said. Mages, monks, and warlocks too, Ruthie said. Good. And how many spells are there? There's a specific number, and anyone who gets it right will get power trainings from me for an hour, Water said. Samara stood to quickly answer, but then it happened. Orion appeared in the hall right beside her, and he grabbed her hand, vanishing with her immediately. It was so fast. Sam! Ruthie shouted. Chief Water rushed to the spot they vanished from, but not even a single clue is left. Call Duran, he ordered, and Ruthie rushed out with Peony. Orion landed in a scary wilderness with Samara, and her eyes widened when she saw the creepy-looking trees around. They're all dry and leafless, and the surroundings look lifeless as a whole. Where are we? What did you bring me here to do? I was enjoying the class. She shouted fearfully. To kill you, he replied. What? This is the boundary between the heavens and earth. I bet you can't escape death here as a witch if you get stabbed. Not even your necklace can help, he replied, and she quickly stepped back. Her sword appeared on her palm, and that was when she noticed his arm is fine already. Your arm, how did? I'm a rare breed, which he replied, and his sword appeared too. He charged to her immediately, and Samara blocked him with her sword, so their swords clashed, and sparks flew out of the collision. I don't know why you hate me this much, but you must be a fool if you think your pains will end after killing me, she said, and his claws grew. He angrily shoved them into her stomach, wounding her deeply. She fell on the ground, and the sword fell from her as she bled. Ah! She groaned, holding the bloody tummy. Get up, we're just starting, he said, and almost immediately, his eyes turned red, and his 6 clones came out of him, so right now, there are 7 Orions. Stand! He thundered, and Samara struggled to her feet after grabbing her sword. Surprisingly, the wound didn't heal cause of the environment, so her blood kept draining. You'd regret this, she mumbled and held her sword tighter, turning around to make a sharp sword wield. Her hair flew with the air in the process, and the sword mistakenly made contact with it, cutting a part of it. Immediately that happened, Orion's clones returned inside him without his permission, and he was still wondering why when Samara's piece of white hair transformed into a powdery substance in the air. Instantly after Orion inhaled the powdery air, all the bones in his body caught fire inside, and body ache gripped him madly tight. Arg-gah! Ah! Ah! He yelled, his eyes becoming redder as he was forced to go on his knees as the pains got insane. He began bleeding black blood from all over his face, and Samara inhaled, going closer to him with her sword. And I repeat, you're a fool if you think your pains will end after killing me. Big fool! She spat, and without waiting, she drove her sword into his chest. Arg-gah! He screamed, and the black blood came out of his mouth too, nose inclusive. I don't regret this, and I won't regret it, Samara said before removing the sword sharply from his stomach, and Orion's palms went to the ground, so he's on all fours. He guided himself with that as he continued bleeding, and the blood on the body of Samara's sword cleaned up on its own. The gold shimmered afterwards, but then Samara heard a growl. She looked up at Orion and saw him changing already, and her eyes widened. He's changing into his vampire form because that's the only form which he can heal him. She watched the whole transformation as his fangs appeared and dark veins on his face. His eyes turned dark completely, and the wound from the sword healed immediately. Her eyes widened more when she stood, and she shifted back as he growled furiously. He sped to her and was about to grab her when Aragon appeared in between, and instead of her, Aragon welcomed his fangs into his neck. Orion sank his fangs in deeply, and Samara gasped. "Arg! Arg!" Aragon cried out. "Superior!" Samara shouted horrifically, and Master Duran appeared with the two chiefs. Immediately Orion saw them, he took off, vanishing from the place. Aragon fell into Samara's arms, and they went down together so his head is on her laps, blood gushing out of his bitten neck. "Superior! Superior!" Samara shook him. She was already crying cause his limpness is scaring her. "He'll be fine," Chief Water said as he took him from her. He pulled Samara up too, and they vanished together, leaving Feathers with Duran. "At this rate, I might have to tie Orion down," he said, looking unsettled. "Tie him? He's not someone who can be tied, and he can't be killed easily." "His different personalities are dangerous," Chief Feathers replied. "The curse is making him run wild according to the monk's prophecy, and Samara triggers his madness a lot," Master Duran said. "Then why did you allow her admission into the institute?" Feathers replied. "She needs him to explore her abilities. The more she falls in danger in his hands, the more she explores." "Why do you think I made him her superior?" "He's unknowingly training her this way," he replied. "He could have hurt her if Aragon didn't appear," Feathers said. "She didn't hurt her after all." "I should focus on finding his weakness right now," he replied, and Feathers sighed. Inside Delos City. Orion was already back to his normal form when he appeared in front of an old house, and he spit out Aragon's blood before going in. He knocked at the door, and it was opened by an old woman with evenly gray hair. "Bathsheba," he said, and she opened the door wider, so he came in. Bathsheba is the oldest witch in Delos, and it's not his first time here. He comes anytime he needs deep answers his clones can't give. "You fed on a human?" Bathsheba asked as he sat in front of her. "He's not human, and I didn't feed on him. His blood is bitter, so I spit it out right in front of your house," he replied. "So now you bite supernatural beings like you too?" she said, taking her seat too. He crossed the line, and don't you dare ask another question again. "The questions belong to me," he replied, leaning forward. Bathsheba held his head with her two hands and closed her eyes, visualizing everything that happened some minutes ago before letting go of him. "You got hurt by a Whitehead Witch you were trying to hurt," she said. "Incredible story, right? Wasn't I supposed to be invincible? Why is she always having the upper hand anytime I try to attack? I badly want to kill her and her mother. I hate the sight of her, that it angers me and reminds me of the day I was cursed," he ranted, standing up. "She's a Whitehead, and she's special, so you can't underestimate her. Her hair is poisonous to all of your personalities, so avoid contact," she replied calmly. "That darn hair? She has a necklace on her neck too, plus her mother. It brings back the dead, really? Why is everything going mad since her arrival? Can't I just kill her once and for all?" He turned his back on her. "She's not the killer of your brother," she said. "But she's got annoyingly white hair. Don't you get it?" Orion faced her angrily. "Don't try to hurt her anymore." Bathsheba stood too. "Meaning what?" He frowned. I know you won't listen. Try to hurt her one more time and see what happens. It's always the best to see for yourself, she replied and took a spell book from the table. Was busy before you came, she said and went in. Orion left angrily, and a minute later, Bathsheba came out with Bree. She has been here even before Orion came, she had to hide. What if he tries to hurt her again? He's running wild for sure, Bree said. Calm down, you know how your daughter's story will go, right? Bathsheba faced her. Yes, everything has been written, Bree nodded. Then just watch, it's just starting anyways, Bathsheba said. At Mystic Institute. Krishna and Ceres returned at the same time, and Ceres faced him. She's still carrying Lissa. Don't worry about her, I'll take responsibility for her. She can stay in my room for a few days without the knowledge of the chiefs or masters, she said. I want to stay with him, Lissa replied, pointing at Krishna. You don't like me? Ceres asked, and she went mute. Whatever. She wants to stay with you, so have her. Ceres dropped her and smiled before leaving. Seriously? Krishna asked, and Lissa nodded. Krishna took her hand and started pulling her along, taking her into the villa. Krishna, you're back. Ruthie joined him. Yeah, he smiled. Who's she? She gestured at Lissa. Found her homeless, I'll take responsibility, he replied, and she nodded. She's cute though, and you're lucky the class didn't even hold fully, Ruthie said. Why? Superior Orion kidnapped Sam and Superior Aragon had to go save her with the chiefs and master, but they came back with a wounded Superior. Onion bit him in his vampire form, she explained, and his eyes widened. Lissa suddenly saw Samara running out of the villa through the second door, and her eyes followed her. The one she blurted before releasing. Huh? Krishna faced her. Never mind, she replied. I'll see you later, Krishna, Ruthie said, rushing off afterwards. Should I reconsider my likeness towards Superior Orion? Krishna muttered, carrying Lissa into his room afterwards. At the cafeteria. I told you Superior Orion is a vampire, no one believed, Raven said. He's on a table, eating with the others. Raven, he's not a vampire directly, it's just one of his abilities, Peony said. Still the same, Raven replied. Has anyone seen Merlin? Echo suddenly asked. Caitlin took him away earlier, Ceres replied, settling on the table with them. I'll be right back. Echo stood and left the cafe. Why are you sitting on this same table? Raven questioned Ceres. It's a free world, brother, she rolled eyes at him and Peony. Let's go somewhere else. Raven took his tray of food, and Peony carried hers too. They held hands with their second hand as they walked to another table. As if I care, Ceres muttered, eating alone till she saw Agatha coming into the cafe. She started laughing so loud, and Agatha walked straight to her. What happened to Superior Aragon? She asked straight. Wow. You're not here to slap me for laughing at you? Seems beastly territory brought back the dead brain cell, Ceres replied. Agatha kept staring at her, so she sighed. He got bitten by Superior Orion, she said, and Agatha left immediately. Inside Merlin's room. Caitlin is currently on top of him in bed, kissing him hard, and he's busy reciprocating without sparing a sink. It was rough, and Caitlin kept biting his lip repeatedly, making him open up more for her. She began pulling his robe down his body so she'd have access to his bare skin, and immediately she dropped it down successfully. She broke the kiss and traces her hand on his chest, locking eyes with him. God, you're so hot, she whispered, and Merlin smiled sheepishly, his eyes deep blue as a result of the hypnosis he's under. She bent over to kiss his chest, but the door flew open immediately, and Merlin sped in, coming straight for Caitlin. She grabbed her away from Merlin, throwing her on the ground. Caitlin stood and went back for her, and a hot combat started between them. Echo flew to the table, and from there she did a flip in the air, kicking Caitlin in the chest. Caitlin crashed into the bedstand, and blood spilled out of her mouth. The hypnosis cleared off Merlin's face, and his eyes widened when he saw his naked upper body. "What the hell happened?" he muttered shockingly. Caitlin stood and left the room after saying this is not over with her eyes. "You got hypnotized." "She's an inducer," Echo said, and Merlin jumped down from the bed. "I didn't do anything uncool, right? Come here first." Echo pulled him into a hug. "I thought I was gonna lose you to her," she whispered. "Lose me?" "It's impossible," he replied, hugging her too. At the Prestige Hall, Chief Water came in and met Master Duran standing in the middle of the open room, but he faced him immediately. "How's Aragon faring?" he asked. "He's fine, he'd wake up soon." "The bite is deep and will take time to heal," the Water replied, and Master Duran was about to talk again when Chief Feathers came in with a letter. "It came from the City Council," she said, handing it over to Duran. He took it, and his expression changed immediately. He read. "It was signed my Honorable Motzi, the man whose son got killed by Orion last week. He's got support from the council, and he's planning to storm the Institute tomorrow." "How do we handle this?" Water asked. "Orion mustn't hear about this though, he'd kill Motzi himself without blinking," Feathers said. "I'd handle the Honorable myself tomorrow," Duran said. Inside Aragon's room. Surprisingly, when Samara came back with the third batch of herbs to apply on his neck wound, he was already awake, and he even got down from the bed already. "Superior." She dropped the herbs on the ground and rushed to hug him. He gasped at the suddenness. "I was so scared, even when the chief said you'd be fine I was still scared," she said, and he smiled. "I'm a weak superior, aren't I?" "No you aren't." Onion's curse made him mad, and that's the force driving him. "It's not your fault, so don't feel like that," she said, breaking the hug. "He hurt you," he said, and she looked down at her tummy. "The wound healed immediately I got back from the wilderness, so I'm fine now, and I'm glad you're up too," she said, looking up at him. He smiled again, wider this time, and she raised her right hand to his right cheek, giving it a thumb caress while holding eyes with him. "What?" he asked slowly. This she replied slowly too, and reached up for him, placing her lips on his own. Aragon didn't move throughout. He stayed still till she broke the light kiss and smiled. Unknown to them, Agatha is watching by the open window, and her fists are folded as she witnessed everything. "Do you like it?" Samara asked Aragon. "Was that your first?" Aragon replied, and she nodded. "No wonder, you're a poor kisser," he replied, and it was him who held her face this time. "This is how to kiss," he said, and she smiled as he kissed her lips deeply, devouring her mouth. She held him by the sides, and Agatha left the window immediately. She knowingly hit her head on the wall furiously, and blood ran down her face. If this story touched your heart, please press like and share it with those you love so they too can hear this meaningful tale. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next part. I'm sure you don't want to miss it, besties. We sincerely thank you for staying with us until the very last moment. Wishing you and your loved ones abundant health, joyful lives, and hearts always full of love. Goodbye.